Hello. All righty. We are starting in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and let people go ahead and join on in. Beautiful. All righty. Let's go ahead and start this sucker off, right? Let's go ahead and find out how to make new friends. So my name is Ryan Prescott, and I am the founder and owner of the Truth Movement. I would like to really get, this point across before we start. And that is, I am here with the sole purpose of helping you achieve what you want in life, whether that be happiness, new friends, maybe all of them. But I'm here to help you get to where you want to be. So whatever that may be or whatever troubles you might be having, reach out to me and I'd love to try to find out how I can assist you. Reach out to me. I'd love to communicate to you. But right now we're going to go over some principles that will help you in your life. So when you are confronted with the idea of talking to somebody, right? Talking to somebody. If you're confronted with the idea of talking to somebody and you're like, I'm really, really scared of talking to this person because I don't think they'll like me. Or, I'd rather go somewhere else or talk to somebody over social media, right? One-on-one interaction can scare people. And that's what basically contributes to social anxiety, fear, overwhelm, whatever, when it comes down to trying to make new friends. So let's go ahead and try to tackle that. There's a principle that I want to go over, and it's called the affinity, reality, and communication triangle. Okay, so it's a triangle that has 3 points. This is what the triangle looks like. Okay, so that triangle makes up understanding when you go ahead and you apply all 3 of those points. Now, what are those points, you may ask? Well, the points are affinity, right? So affinity is, let's define that, right? So the basic definition of affinity is the consideration of distance, whether good or bad. The most basic function of complete affinity would be the ability to occupy the same space as something else. So the word affinity is here used to mean love, liking, or any other emotional attitude. Affinity is conceived in Scientology to be something of many facets. Affinity is a variable quality. Affinity is here used as a word with the context degree of liking. Okay, so we are reading out of the book. We are referring it to the book, Scientology: Fundamentals of Thought. Now, these are the principles that can be applied in your life, regardless of your religion, regardless of your beliefs, practices, and such. This can actually be applied in your life, and you don't have to change any religion or any viewpoints that you have. This is just for you to apply. So that's the first point of that triangle. Right. And this all will help you out in making new friends. It's so effective and it's so great. So you'll love it. Now, the second corner of this triangle is called reality. Reality could be defined as that which appears to be. So reality is fundamentally agreement. What we agree to be real is real. So let me go ahead and just go in a little bit more on the subject of reality. Now, if you mentioned to me that all frogs are chairs, I would look at you like you're crazy because that doesn't make any sense. How would a frog be a chair in my viewpoint? Well, what would happen if that's your reality? Okay, now I wouldn't agree with you on that. But what could we agree on? Well, we could agree on the fact that, rocks are rocks. They're solid, right? They're solid objects. We could actually go ahead and agree on that. That's reality that we have, right? So then we go on to affinity. How does affinity work with reality? Well, let's go ahead and if I found something that I liked about you and I said, well, I really like your hair. and then you said, oh, I really like yours. It's really, really nice, right? That's a point of agreement. That's a point of reality between us both, which means that we can communicate about it. So that's the next point we're going to go into, communication. All right, so communication and understanding the composition of human relations in this universe. Communication is more important than the other two corners of the triangle. Communication is the solvent for all things. It dissolves all things. Okay, so without communication, you can't make new friends. We can all agree on that. So if I can't communicate to you and I can't communicate my viewpoints to you, and you can't communicate your viewpoints to me, and we can't come out with some kind of a reality, or we can't come out with some kind of likingness towards each other, then frankly, we're not going to become friends. We're going to have a less, minimal chance of becoming friends, right? So right there, that's the key point. So when you go out and you talk to somebody, there's nothing to fear. The one thing that they'll do, if you're talking to somebody, the worst thing they can do is not talk to you. That's the worst thing. The worst thing that can happen is not talk to you, because maybe they're going through something themselves. So you go on to the next person. But you got to go out there and communicate to them. Communicate to people. Find out what they believe. Find out what they can agree on. Maybe you'll find that somebody in an opposite political spectrum of yours might actually have the same reality as you. They want to help people. They want to change something. Maybe not even on the subject of politics. Maybe like in another person's religion, they could say, hey, look, I believe, that all people are good. And then I could say, yes, I do too. They're basically good. Yes, they have, they make mistakes. They make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but they are striving to be good people. Okay, so we could agree on that. Cool. So now this triangle is conceived to be very spacious at the level of serenity and completely condensed at the level of matter. Now, see, this is right here. I want to just go ahead and before I go into the next section, I want to go ahead and tell you that there are actually emotions that everybody goes through. Okay? And you're at one of these points at any given moment, every single day. So let's start from the bottom, right? There's apathy, grief, fear, covert hostility, anger, antagonism, boredom, conservatism, enthusiasm, and serenity. Okay? So based on that alone, you have to go ahead when you're making some friends, you have to find somebody that I would recommend finding somebody at your emotion, your general emotion. Do you feel happy? Well, find some happy people and talk to them. But you have to spot this, and there's a way you can spot this, but I'm not going to go ahead and tell you that on this live. I'm just telling you the triangle, okay? The triangle that we just went over, ARC, develops understanding. So when you have understanding, you can communicate to somebody. It's super effective. It really is. And you'll love it. And you'll have a good time. You'll make it a game of trying to make friends with people. Here it is again. So I can show you it. That is ARC. That's the triangle. Cool. So and here's right here. I'm going to go ahead and give you another example just to, make this thing happen for you, because I want you to get something out of this. And I also want you to take the next step for yourself. And I'll tell you that in a minute. So have you ever tried talking to an angry man? Well, without a high degree of liking and without some basis of agreement, there is no communication. Without communication and some basis of emotional response, there can be no reality. Without some basis for agreement and communication, there can be no affinity. Thus, we call these things a triangle. Unless we have two corners of a triangle, there cannot be a third corner. Desiring any corner of the triangle, one must include the other two. So this right here is super effective. I've used it in my life, and I do recommend checking this out, this book. It doesn't mean that, you go into another religion tomorrow. What you're doing is you're studying this effective book, okay? And it goes over various different things having to do with making new friends and the dynamics of life. And your life depends on how many friends you have, your groups, your friends, whatever. And you'll find that out in this book. It's super vital that you know this information, right? And you use it in your life. I do want to go ahead and coach with you and really get you to apply this material. So when you do pick up this book, okay, I want to go ahead and teach you. I want to go ahead and be with you and kind of like, all right, cool. How do we make this work? How many friends have you made? Is this working for you? We can change things up and make it work for you. I want to help you with that. So if you want this book, reach out, comment interested in the comment section. And also, just message me if you need more help. If you'd like, hey, look, I have a question or whatever, I can answer that. But I want you to go out there and I want you to try to apply what I just said. But I also don't want you to just go ahead and base it off of what I just said to you. I want you to go ahead and get this material for yourself. So if you find that any of this made sense to you, and if you find that the information I just shared with you, you can relate to somehow, right? And you can use it. And maybe it might work when you go out grocery shopping or go to work, right? And you try it with one of your coworkers. Well, there you go. Try it with one of your coworkers and see if it works. Give it a try. And if it doesn't, okay, fine. Reach out to me. I'll help you out. But the goal of this is to make sure that you gradually increase confronting, making new friends, or just talking to people. Because the more and more you talk to somebody, the less your anxiety and fear and overwhelm is, and you'll be comfortable in talking to people. So I want to get you to that point. So let me help you. Reach out to me. Give me a chance. You don't know me, and I don't know you, so we can start fresh. All righty. Thank you so much for tuning on in, and I'll see you in the next live on another subject. But please do reach out to me and try to get this material, okay? It's super easy, and I'll give you a corresponding course so you can do that online from the comfort of your own home. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon. All righty.